Coming up on this edition of VCU InSight, recent crimes on VCU's campus has led to an increase in security measures. A move to a new athletic conference has Ram fans fired up for the upcoming season.
And VCU's latest ad campaign asks students to play a larger role in school's development. All that and more, VCU InSight starts right now. Hello, and welcome to VCU InSight. I'm Nicholas Nightingale.
And I'm Kathleen Stone. Thanks for joining us. The beginning of VCU's school year was marked by crimes around campus. VCU police already had a pilot plan ready to roll with third-party security patrols. InSight's Brandon Agee takes a look at the new addition.
VCU senior Eric Davies was a victim of armed robbery on Park Avenue, just west of the VCU Monroe Park campus in November 2011. And then, on the first day of classes this fall, a group of 15 people assaulted one individual and soon robbed another. Davies says he hopes the new security vehicles around campus will keep crime down.
You know, having more people around is going to be a good thing, because when I was first approached, there was literally no one on this street, which is kind of strange for that time.
VCU police want students and potential criminals to see the vehicles on a regular basis. But for security reasons, they wouldn't tell us the number of G4S vehicles or their schedule. Last year, VCU police administered a perception of safety survey to the VCU community. It showed that 93.4% of students, faculty, and staff felt safe or very safe on both campuses. VCU Police Chief John Venuti says the results produced a baseline of how safe the community feels.
Our community told us that they wanted to see more police and security. That's the reason why we contracted with G4S. That's the reason why G4S is here on both of our campuses.
The initiative is a pilot program for the fall semester, costing the department $35,000, all from leftover money in last year's budget. According to Venuti, the G4S officers will report any suspicion of criminal activity to VCU police.
And we're fortunate here with the size of this community is that we're able to rapidly respond to whatever issue they may encounter.
This year's police survey will include questions about the G4S program. Responses will help decide the program's future. For VCU InSight, I'm Brandon Agee.
VCU police say the G4S vehicles are patrolling both the Monroe Park and MCV campuses during high-risk times of day and night.
Stop, look, listen. Advice about crossing the street we heard all the time as kids is now getting new meaning. The Richmond Ambulance Authority wants us to remember that advice and is launching a new public service campaign to help. InSight's Amanda Dix has the story.
The Richmond Ambulance Authority is taking a different approach to promote pedestrian safety and awareness. According to the RAA, someone's hit by a vehicle once every 3.5 days in the Richmond area. RAA Chief Operating Officer Rob Lawrence says these accidents occur mainly around the downtown business district and various locations surrounding VCU, especially around Monroe Park.
You've got a lot of students and a high population walking to and from class, coupled with the fact that there are some very large roads, some very large intersections in the college and campus area.
In early September, RAA launched its new Crossing Alert campaign, a rap YouTube video to encourage pedestrians to stop, look, and listen before crossing the street.
Look side to side before you take another stride.
Lawrence asked Sean Burton, an employee at RAA and part-time songwriter, to write a rap song to appeal to students. The video includes a flash mob and a cameo from Richmond Mayor Dwight C. Jones.
We read trip reports from the field that the medics enter in, and I read a lot that, you know, people get hit by cars on a weekly basis, and so it amazed me how often that happened.
The campaign was funded with a $5,000 grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and as of mid-September, the video had more than 5,000 hits. For VCU InSight, I'm Amanda Dick.
The Richmond Ambulance Authority says this is the first public service video they've produced. Last spring, they launched their Rider Alert campaign about motorcycle safety.
We all know college students use social media a lot, and that's given VCU authorities an idea on how to reach out to them. In fact, one of VCU's leaders recently spent some virtual time with students and community members. InSight's Megan Gallagher has the story.
Early this month, VCU held its monthly test of the Emergency Communications System. An hour after the sirens faded, VCU held a discussion about student safety on Twitter. It's called a Twitter Town Hall, and it's something the college is doing in an attempt to communicate more effectively with its students. While it's a new strategy for VCU, Twitter Town Halls are nothing new. In July 2011, President Barack Obama held his own Twitter Town Hall. Mass communications professor at VCU, Bill Farah, teaches a class on social media. He applauds the efforts.
I think it's an outstanding opportunity for students and faculty and any stakeholder of the university to get information direct from the source.
Students wanting to participate needed only add the hashtag VCU Town Hall to their questions. VCU only received 10 tweets, but VCU Police Chief John Venuti spent the 30-minute window personally answering all of the questions. This one from the Commonwealth Times student newspaper asks, would you consider changing the times G4S patrols are in use when it begins to get darker? Venuti tweeted back, we are open to changing their schedule to meet the needs of this community. Although he only received 10 tweets, Venuti says that there is a lot more coming from the VCU Police Department.
So I would have liked to see a little bit more participation, but I think we had a lot of good questions and things like that.
For more information from the VCU Police Department, you can follow them on Twitter. For VCU InSight, I'm Megan Gallagher.
VCU says they're planning more Twitter town halls in the future.
Richmond's film scene is alive and well with annual events like the French Film Festival. At VCU, student filmmakers are busy making their own creations and winning awards for them, as well as promoting films on campus. InSight's Jay Powell is here tonight with a guest to tell us more.
Hi, today I'm talking with PJ Norton, a student filmmaker for VCU Cinematech. PJ is the recipient of the 2012 First Cut Screening Award for Best Director and Best Screenplay. Thank you for joining us, PJ.
Thank you for having me.
So could you tell me just a little bit about the awards that you won and what did you win them for?
Well, I won Best Director for the film I directed this past summer, and it was called The Rose of Jericho. And then I won the Best Screenplay Award for obviously the film I wrote, which was called Last Spring.
Okay. Were these narrative films, or could you tell us a little bit about the story behind them?
Sure, both were narrative. The Rose of Jericho took place in a dystopian, sort of post-apocalyptic future, and a young boy who's growing up in this world meets a man that he thinks could be a genie. And so the film follows him as he goes on sort of a mini adventure to try to help the genie find his lamp.
How long did it take for the production of these pieces?
Well, we had, for the film I directed, it was the last film of the summer. So we had between 5 and 6 weeks of pre-production. During that time, we were doing production and post-production for the other 4 films, but we were still planning and getting everything ready for when we actually were to begin shooting at the end of the summer. And then we shot for 4 days. And so the entire film had to be very carefully planned because we only had 4 days to get everything in. And it was probably our biggest production in terms of scale from the entire summer, just because it was, a sci-fi film. So we did have to, spend more money on wardrobe and effects, and we had to build sets as opposed to just shooting in locations that were sort of ready to go when we walked on set that day. So we shot for 4 days, and then We had about 3 weeks of post-production in which we were editing the picture and the sound and adding in, the soundtrack and cleaning things up. And so then it was pretty much a race to the finish to get ready for the screening in September.
Okay, well, do you have a favorite between the two films, or?
I think I like them both in different ways. Obviously, the one I wrote is probably content that is more, the one I wrote has content that I connect more with, just because I did write it and I chose the subject matter. But on the other hand, as a director, you have to be totally involved in the entire process. So whereas when I wrote last spring, I wrote it and then had to just sort of pass it along and detach myself from the project. The one I directed, I had to be involved in the entire process, including rewrites, including pre-production, production, and post-production. So in a lot of ways, I'm actually more attached to the one I directed than the one I wrote.
Okay. How did you get involved in VCU Cinematech?
Well, I'm a student worker in the cinema office, and as part of my job, I help to organize the logistics of the screenings, and I help to promote the screenings on a weekly basis. So I'm not actually actively involved in the planning of the actual films that will be screened, but I am involved in sort of all of the behind-the-scenes work to actually make those screenings happen.
Do you know when the next screening for VCU Cinematech will be?
Yes, the next screening will be on Tuesday, October 16th, and the film is called Punishment Park.
I've been speaking with PJ Norton, a student filmmaker for VCU Cinematech. PJ, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you again for having me.
After a year filled with the schools throughout the country switching athletic conferences, speculation of VCU's move began last spring. Then over the summer, the Rams made their move. InSight's Scott Wyant has more.
VCU's recent success on the hardwood and the school's historical run to the Final Four in 2011 put VCU on the national stage. The school's athletic department has made moves to keep that brand in the spotlight. On May 15th, the school announced they would move that spotlight.
I'm very pleased to announce that Virginia Commonwealth University will join the Atlantic 10 Conference.
With the announcement, VCU would leave the Colonial Athletic Association, where the Rams have played since 1995. A move that Athletic Communications Director Scott Day says will increase competition for Shaka Smart's team.
I think Coach Smart and his staff have proven that from day one, that they want to compete not only just in the conference, whatever conference we may be in, they want to compete on a national level.
Coupled with the hiring of Athletic Director Ed McLaughlin from Niagara in June, the school hopes to compete for national championships.
Although Shaka Smart and his Rams won't begin their new season in the A10 until November, Ram fans are already getting excited for their fresh start.
I'm looking forward to all the teams we're going to play against. It's going to be tough, but we can handle it because we're going to cause havoc.
As for the $750,000 VCU lost in transition between conferences, the director of the Ram Athletic Fund, Vic Seglis, believes the move is already becoming a profitable one.
It's going to cost some money, but we feel that in the long run, this is something that for us to keep growing as a university athletic department, it definitely had to be done.
The men's basketball team will open its A10 slate on January 9th when they welcome the Dayton Flyers. For VCU InSight, I'm Scott Wyant.
The A10 era is already in full swing. VCU Athletics will throw a party at Sportsbacker Stadium on October 5th. In the A10, VCU joins teams like Temple, St. Louis, and our crosstown rival U of R.
The weather may be changing, but fall sports at VCU are heating up this season. The VCU field hockey team is off to a great start, but a changing conference is not the only change the team is experiencing this year. InSight's Gabrielle Jackson has more.
Cary Street Field. What used to be home to the CAA conference is now home to the A10 for the women's field hockey team at VCU. But that was not the only change that the team underwent. Meet Shannon Carl. She was a 5-year assistant coach with the Lady Rams before becoming the head coach of the team this season.
I thought it was a great opportunity to continue to work with this team and these young women.
Carl says not only does she have a great staff to assist her, but a team full of players who are self-motivated. So far, the Lady Rams have adjusted well since moving conferences, but the changes are also moving off-field to another place. The players posted a mission statement saying that they will unite through our love of the game and create a passionate, competitive, and professional environment in which we can reach our highest potential and strive to exceed all expectations. In the classroom, the team wants to maintain a 3.5 GPA average, whereas last spring the team averaged a 3.466.
Not only do we have to perform well on the field for every game, every practice, but we also have to perform in the classroom.
When it comes to the game, a new coach and a new conference equals new opportunities. For VCU InSight, I'm Gabrielle Jackson.
The Lady Rams opened conference play against Temple in Philadelphia on October 5th. Coach Carl says they're excited to play the Richmond Spiders for their A10 home opener Friday, October 12th. And actually, Nick, experts say that VCU's move to the A10 shows their push for national recognition.
Kathleen, it even looks like VCU's new ad campaign is another example of that. VCU's latest marketing campaign, Make It Real, is asking students to do just that. InSight reporter Diva Payne has more.
The VCU men's basketball team played their way into the Final Four during the NCAA basketball tournament last spring, bringing Virginia Commonwealth University to the national stage. This fall, VCU launched its new Make It Real ad campaign, focused on making VCU a competitor in the higher education marketplace. The $500,000 campaign includes a new seal centered on VCU's history as a medical school turned university almost 175 years ago. The Make It Real campaign features real success stories from an array of VCU students. The Chief Communications Officer for VCU, Pam Lepley, says students embody the new slogan because they make their dreams a reality.
From being a medical student and going to Bangladesh and setting up an orphanage and a school, our students are phenomenal.
Over 30,000 students attend VCU, but only a handful are represented by the Make It Real campaign. Victor Haskins played his way into the spotlight by making a hobby his career here at the VCU School of Music. School officials gave Haskins a call to appear in the campaign after seeing his success in the Richmond jazz scene while still in school. Haskins credits VCU for his growth as a musician and believes VCU really does give students the tools to achieve their goals.
It's been great to be here at VCU and in Richmond, where I could be in a city where my growth is fostered by the community, which really is a community of musicians and people that make up Richmond.
The campaign can be seen all around VCU's campus, but a majority of the campaign is online. For VCU InSight, I'm Diva Payne.
The Make It Real campaign recently held a contest which allowed students to help create a new brand.
VCU InSight's Brittany Tilley has the contest winner in studio with us today.
I'm here today with Timmy Win, the contest winner of VCU's Make It Real campaign. Thanks for being here, Timmy.
Thank you for having me here.
So tell me, what made you decide to participate in this contest?
You know, it was that Monday when the university relaunched its new branding campaign, which was Make It Real. And I saw that there was a contest, and I wasn't really quite sure if I wanted to really join. So it took me about a day or so, and afterwards I said, you know what, let me go ahead and decide and enter my story for the Make It Real contest.
Right, and I mean, over 2,000 votes were cast, and you got close to 800 votes. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels great. Obviously, I did not expect to win this. It was a contest that had many great stories, and I was fortunate to have many great supporters out there, and that includes the VCU School of Business and my family and my friends and everyone in the community. So,
who do you think was your biggest fan?
I think it'd be hard to say, but my family and some of my closest friends at VCU School of Business.
So where were you when you found out that you won this contest?
I was at home that night. I came home from work and I was just tired, and I saw that I had won around midnight. I got a bunch of text messages and Facebook messages, and I said, oh, I guess I had won.
So Miss Tranny, the organizer of the contest, described you as a superstar. Has it hit you yet?
Not quite yet. I'm that was a very nice word for her to say. It's something that, you know, I didn't think it would be a superstar. It was something about, you know, a store that I wanted to enter to show that, you know, what the school has done for me, pretty much.
Well, what does it feel like representing 32,000 VCU students?
It feels different. You know, obviously, you know, my goal is to show all the students and faculty members that VCU is the place to be. And, you know, VCU has made a difference for me in my career and when I was here as a student as well. And so, you know, to be able to share that story with others, I think it's going to be great.
And what do you think the Make It Real campaign will do for VCU?
I think it's going to do many great things. You know, obviously, it just started, and I know many years to come. And I think this will put us to the top as one of the premier universities to be at. And I think it's going to attract many great students to our campus. We're going to have some of the top professors here. And obviously, you know, it's going to help, you know, the community as well. So.
I know one of the prizes was you get to be part of the ad campaign for the VCU Make It Real. Have you started doing that ad campaign?
No, we have not. We have not started that yet. We will be doing the photo shoot this Friday, and so from that point on, the university will decide, you know, how they will do with the logistics. But I know the photo shoot will take place this Friday.
Are you looking forward to it?
I am. I'm excited to represent VCU. So.
I mean, it's a great opportunity. And what other perks come along with it?
One of the biggest perks is having lunch with Dr. Michael Rao, our university president. Also got a bike as well, and then many different prizes. That includes tickets to VCU athletic basketball, you know, VCU trash can, and all different great prizes and, you know, perks.
Yes, I mean, that lunch with Dr. Rao is so great, and it was so great to meet you. And Timmy, thank you for joining us today.
No problem. My pleasure. Thank you.
Here's a look at some of the events going on around the Richmond area. The 9th annual Massing of Colors ceremony will be held on October 6th at 2 p.m. at the Virginia War Memorial. The ceremony focuses on the heritage and symbolic meaning of the American flag. The public is welcome.
October 6th will also mark the date of the 14th annual 5K Pumpkin Run for Hanover Safe Place. It takes place at the Ashland Berry Farm. The event raises awareness to stop domestic violence.
The Carytown Food and Wine Festival, titled A Taste of Carytown, will take place on October 7th from 12 to 6 p.m. The Carytown Merchants Association hosts the event. See products from established Virginia wineries and local restaurants.
Breast cancer specialists from the VCU Massey Cancer Center will host an educational seminar on October 10th at the Lewis Skinter Botanical Gardens. The seminar starts at 5:30 p.m.
It's that time again. The Richmond Folk Festival continues its 3-year tradition downtown this year, October 12th through the 14th.
It's never too late to visit the historic Hollywood Cemetery. The park will hold a walking tour on October 14th from 2 to 4 p.m. They ask visitors to meet at the cemetery entrance at Cherry and Albemarle Streets. Black ties, long dresses, and pets? Another notable event coming up in October is the Richmond SPCA Fur Ball. This will be the 14th year of the event. InSight's Martha Brickey has our look into the preparations for this year's Furry Bash.
Meet Coraline. She came to the Richmond SPCA in desperate need of medical treatment. And thanks to the organization's Cinderella Fund, she, along with more than 2,000 pets per year, get medical help and eventually find loving homes. And what better way to raise money for a Cinderella Fund than a ball? A fur ball, that is. According to Richmond SPCA Chief Executive Officer Robin Starr, the fur ball is adored by many.
I personally think that the reason that people love it so much is because they get dressed up in black tie and long dresses, but they come with pets.
This year, Richmond Magazine voted the Fur Ball the best bash in Richmond. In a few days, Fur Ball attendees and their pets will be parading down the staircase here at the Jefferson Hotel. In the meantime, however, volunteers and committee members are hard at work to ensure this is the greatest fur ball yet. Held at the Jefferson Hotel every year, the night's events include both a live and silent auction. Assistant General Manager of the Jefferson, Pat Manning, has been working with the furball for the past 6 years.
I think it's the importance and how vital it is for all of us to help the animals who need that help so very much.
After last year's event raised more than $460,000, Starr says she's excited for this year's furball.
I love it every year. I think not only does it raise absolutely crucial funding for us to care for sick and injured animals, but it's also a very important point of our getting across our message.
A message Coraline knows all about. For VCU InSight, I'm Martha Brickey.
With tickets for the event expected to sell out, the Richmond's SPCA's fundraising goal is to match last year's. That was more than $460,000. Nick, this is a perfect event for you and your dog.
Yeah, see, my 1-year-old Huskies actually chewed 2 of my couches, so I probably won't be bringing him to the Jefferson. But that's going to do it for this edition of VCU InSight.
Make sure to check us out online at insight.vcu.edu. Thanks for watching. I'm Kathleen Stone.
And I'm Nicholas Nightingale. We'll see you next time.